From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebow. Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew says he has no plans to lift a ban on alcohol products from the U.S. at government-run liquor stores. The ban was implemented in March in response to tariffs imposed by the Trump administration on Canadian goods, and U.S. Trade Rep Jameson Greer has called for the bans to end. Well, in a year-end interview with the Canadian Press, Kinew says Manitoba plans to maintain its ban until the U.S. lifts its tariffs.
Canada has stood down from a number of things so far over the course of 2025, and I don't see what we've got in return for that.
Economists and trade lawyers are warning a key tariff exemption for Canada is in jeopardy heading into the new year.
The Canada-United States-Mexico Agreement, or CUSMA, is up for review in the new year, and U.S. President Donald Trump is already threatening to walk away from the table unless Canadian and Mexican officials make certain concessions. International trade lawyer William Pellerin says that puts Canada's key tariff exemption under the Free Trade Pact at risk. Outside of steep tariffs on industries like steel and aluminum, the vast majority of Canada's exports are currently entering the U.S. duty-free because of their compliance with CUSMA. David Augustine, The Canadian Press.
Most of the households across the Atlantic region that lost power over the weekend are back on the grid this morning as the area recovers from extremely high winds earlier this weekend. There were some 250,000 homes and businesses in the dark at one point, with Nova Scotia the hardest hit. Fans of the popular Pillsbury freezer staple Pizza Pops are being warned about a recall. Canadian Press reporter Aaron Sousa says several of the products could be contaminated with E. coli.
The recall affects several forms of the pepperoni bacon flavors of Pizza Pops, with best before dates of June next year. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency says under recall are Pizza Pops pepperoni and bacon pizza snacks, Pizza Pops Supremo Extreme pepperoni and bacon snacks, and Pizza Pops Frank's Red Hot pepperoni and bacon.
General Mills, the company behind Pillsbury, says this is a voluntary recall and other Pizza Pops products are not affected. The Shaw Festival is partnering with Toronto's Harbourfront Centre to present several productions while its Royal George Theatre in Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario, closes for a 3-year rebuild. The Shaw Festival's artistic director, Tim Carroll, says they were initially reticent to launch into the busy Toronto theatre scene.
This feels like the perfect sweet spot of giving a community in Toronto enough of what we do to create the addiction, and then if they want to get a really big hit, they have to come down to us.
The company will continue its operations at the other 3 theaters it uses in Niagara region, but this partnership allows it to also mount several productions each year at Toronto's Lakeside venue starting next October. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, 5 Canadian NHL teams were on the ice. Sidney Crosby broke Mario Lemieux's franchise scoring record as the Pittsburgh Penguins beat the Montreal Canadiens 4-3. Crosby broke the mark in the first period with a goal and an assist. He's now got 1,724 points. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Connor McDavid each racked up 3 points as the Edmonton Oilers hung on to beat visiting Vegas 4-3. Dallas beat the Toronto Maple Leafs 5-1. Clayton Keller scored early in overtime, and Utah beat the Winnipeg Jets 4-3. And the Ottawa Senators extended their win streak to 4 games with a 6-2 decision against Boston. In the NFL, Drake May guided New England to a pair of fourth-quarter touchdowns for a 4-point win over Baltimore that clinched a postseason berth for the Patriots. The AFC North-leading Pittsburgh Steelers have pushed the Detroit Lions to the brink of elimination from the playoffs. From the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebow.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.